Hey gang, welcome back. We're going to do another solo out of the Magnificent Seven book that I've been shedding out of. This one is another Brina Blade solo, and this comes from a great record with Ryan Kisor. This record actually means a good deal to me because when I lived in New York, I used to go check out Brian playing every Wednesday with Sam Yahel's trio at Smalls, this little club in the village. And it was either Sam Yahel on organ and Brina Blade on drums with either Peter Bernstein on guitar or Ryan Kisor on trumpet. And this album, Ryan actually uses the whole quartet. So it's Ryan, Peter Bernstein on guitar, Sam Yahel on organ, and Brina Blade on drums. He does Ryan wrote a new melody over It Could Happen to You, the old jazz standard. And the title is called It Happens, which is just another little name for It Could Happen to You. On there, they trade with Brian, and Brian, in the middle of one of his eights, plays this phrase. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. He obviously plays a little faster than that. I just wanted to play it nice and slow and break it down. I'll play it a little faster in a minute. Let's go over some of the qualities of that phrase. First of all, the first bar should have a very familiar ring to it. It's going to focus on a rhythm that we've covered a couple of times. As I've said before, I get blue in the face saying this, but it really is true. Most jazz is in 4/4. There are only 8 eighth notes in a 4/4 bar. And there's only so many ways you can organize those notes that swing really well. So once you find the handful of really good swinging rhythms, it really comes down to trying to dress them up in different ways and add your little spin to it, but it should still sound like it swings. The way when we listen to a good funk beat, you know, there's only certain things that you can change without losing that feel, right? So the same thing applies here to rhythms that swing really well. And here's that rhythm again. So we heard it with Jimmy Cobb's phrase from 4. We also heard it that this is the phrase that drummers got from Miles Davis. The rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 4. So go back and check out that Miles phrase. You'll hear it. And the way Jimmy Cobb used it is he put a couple 6-stroke rolls in front of it. 1, 2, and 4. You heard there at the end. Now, when I was discussing that phrase, one of the things I talked about is there's a whole bunch of stickings that work well, and one of my favorite stickings that people use a lot is right, right, left, left, right. 1, 2, and 4, right, right, left, left, right. Well, this is the exact sticking that Brian uses. He just voices it a little differently. He, instead of playing, he plays right, right, left, left, right. So right, rack tom, left, left, stick on stick for the right. That's that little phrase. So he's already using material that we should be familiar with. He's just going to, not only did he voice it a little bit differently, but he's going to add a bass drum on the end of 4 to end it. So the whole bar goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next bar, he's going to take that and of 4 and do a little series of ands around the kit before going into some hand to foot combination stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes to the floor tom, and then back to that stick on stick. And then he goes to a little hand to foot thing. This gets used a lot in jazz. Gets used a lot in lots of different music, but we definitely use it a lot in jazz. So there's another little piece of vocabulary. And then the last bar, all eighth notes. It's a little sequence that goes right foot, left, right foot, right, left, right, 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 right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. A couple specific things about that. Number 1, the phrasing. He's swung everything up to this point. This last bar is actually played straight. So if I take the whole thing slowly, should hear how that last bar gets straightened out a little bit. That adds a lot of phrasing to it. The other thing I like about that is there's, from the earlier Brina Blade solo we did, there's that push, 1, 3, and 4, and that where he crescendos through the ride cymbal until it eventually crashes, right? We saw that from a previous one, and there's a little signature kind of Brina Blade sound. So he's gonna, if we put all that together a little faster, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the phrase. One last little thing I want to add. For me, when I have to play multiple strokes in the bass drum, particularly in this fashion where it crescendos, the thing that helps me out a lot is I just focus on the 4th stroke in this case because there are 4 bass drum strokes, right? 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes. I only think about the 4th stroke. That allows my foot and leg to relax and just dang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4 and. Doing that gives me a little bit more lilt or bounce on the pedal, which I need because if I leave any tension into the head at all, I'm going to have a harder time pulling that beater back out and making it to the next stroke. It's going to keep me from playing with tension in my leg. I also, any things like this, I like to practice with both techniques, heel up and heel down. So I'll practice. Again, aiming for the and of 4, and I'll also do the same thing heel up. Ending, trying to aim for that 4th stroke and letting those first 3 strokes be fairly light. Dang. So hopefully that little technique will help you guys in executing this a little bit more cleanly. Check out that record, and please check out that Magnificent 7 book. I'm having a blast working through it, and it's just a great little collection of solos. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. Okay, good luck.